innovation is something new that is introduced to a group of people that improves their quality of life. In the early 1820s, the United States elected their fifth president, James Monroe, to a second term in office. Added the 24th state, Missouri. Napoleon Bonaparte died. Karl Marx was born. And the first photograph was taken in East France. But meanwhile, in the small town of Russellville, Arkansas, something was taking place that would start with the dream of one man and eventually have a long-lasting effect on the world as we know it today. That man was named Sequoyah. Sequoyah operated a trading post and was known for being an excellent blacksmith and silversmith. He was born in Tennessee around 1770 to a Cherokee mother and father, but many speculate that his father might have been German.
Sequoyah was, a lot of them say they wouldn't give him credit because they said a full-blood wasn't smart enough to develop a language, so they said he was half German.
When he was born, his mother was married to a German man named Nathaniel Gist. Many Cherokee elders claim that his mother was pregnant before she met Gist. Either way, Jim Pell, principal chief of the North Alabama Cherokee tribe, voiced the opinions of many Cherokee when he said, "There is no such thing as part Cherokee. Either you're Cherokee or you're not. It isn't the quantity of Cherokee blood in your veins that is important, but the quality of it, your pride in it. I have seen full-bloods who have virtually no idea of the great legacy entrusted to their care. Yet I have seen people with as little as 1/500th blood quantum, who inspire the spirits of their ancestors because they make being Cherokee a proud part of their everyday life." Sequoyah began to create a reading and writing system for the Cherokee language in approximately 1810, but that work was interrupted when he and other Cherokee enlisted in the American Army under Andrew Jackson to fight British troops and Creek Indians in the War of 1812. Sequoyah had never learned the English language, and because of this, he and the majority of the other Cherokee were not able to record important events, read military orders, or write letters to home, as the white soldiers could. When he returned from the war, he used his experiences to add fuel to his desire to create a Cherokee syllabary. His daughter Ioka played a large part in helping him with the creation of the alphabet. She would listen to the Cherokee people speak, take the sounds they made to her father, and for each sound he would create a character. Sequoyah became so dedicated to his work on the syllabary that he began to neglect his family and his work as a blacksmith. His wife became so frustrated that she burned all the work he had completed.
The only one that kind of gave him a problem was his wife. Okay, because he was the language took a lot of his time. He was a silversmith, a blacksmith silversmith. He began to take too much of his time. He began to neglect the work around home. And one day while he was gone, she burned up all his work. So that put him on a different train of thought. I think she done him a favor when she done that.
Though this would seem like a setback, it guided him in a new direction. Since he had to start over again, he decided to only make a character for every syllable, instead of every word. When Sequoyah had finished, he had reduced the thousands of verbal expressions to 85 written characters. He called his innovation the Talking Leaves. He named it this because when he had first seen English documents, the closest thing to parchment that the Cherokee knew was a leaf, and the so-called leaves seemed to communicate messages. In 1821, after 13 years of working on his alphabet, Sequoyah introduced it to the Cherokee people and was met with mixed reactions.
Well, for a long time they thought he was into witchcraft because that's all he messed with. Then when he developed the language, he took his daughter, Hilda, and he had to prove to the council of the elders that this was something that would benefit the tribe, and that's how he convinced them. He put his daughter in another room, and he'd write something and hand it to her, and then she would answer back. So that's how he proved to him that the language was something that could be used.
The Cherokee were doubtful it would work, even after it had been proven, but within a year, 90% of the population was literate.
For a while, it was doubtful, and after he proved to them that it could be done, within a year, 90% of the tribe was literate in the language. They could speak, read, and write. Well, the ones they spoke anyway, but they learned to read and write the language within a year.
By 1825, many spiritual hymns and much of the Bible had been translated into Cherokee, and only 3 years later, the first national bilingual newspaper, the Cherokee Phoenix, was published in New Echota, Georgia. Because of the syllabary, the Cherokee now had new tools with which to educate their children, could print legal documents, and had a more effective way of communicating with the government and with each other. This long-distance communication became even more crucial when the Cherokee started being removed from their homelands east of the Mississippi River and forced onto a reservation in present-day Oklahoma in the 1830s. This 1,000-mile trek with low rations and bitterly cold weather later became known as the Trail of Tears. About 100 years later, this same tribe would come to the aid of the country that had treated them so harshly. Many Cherokee Americans were instrumental in the Allied forces' victory in World War II. They served as what were called code talkers, people who used their native language which the enemy forces could not decipher. The use of these secret codes helped turn the tide of the war and gave Allied forces victory over the Nazi threat. Sequoyah is the only person in history to develop a system for reading and writing without being literate in any language. For his life's work of developing the written language, the Cherokee Nation awarded Sequoyah a silver medal and a lifetime pension. He served his people as a statesman and diplomat until his death in 1843. 6 generations later, the legacy lives on.
Sequoyah, I'm a 6th generation of Sequoyah. And I speak, read, and write the language.
A, E, I, O, U,